Okay, a few of y'all had questions on how to use the drawing program in the homework. So this is one of the questions from your homework. You just really have to play around with it. And at the beginning of most of these, you'll have a little video. See, it says watch the video. Watch the video. They'll actually show you how to do these things. And you can always go back to these later on in the year. So when you're doing this, pick an atom to start with. I kind of like to start in the middle. So I'm going to start on carbon. And so when I click carbon, it's actually highlighted there. And so I left click, and I put a carbon down. Now, then I have to think about what I want to attach that carbon to. And so I want to attach it to a hydrogen. So then I have my carbon and I want to attach a hydrogen. So I'm going to select a single bond. So I have my hydrogen highlighted. I have my single bond highlighted. I'm going to click on my carbon. I'm going to drag, and there I have a single bond to a hydrogen. Now I want a double bond to an oxygen. Click on your carbon, drag up, let go. You get an oxygen. Now I want a single bond to an oxygen. So all I have to do is change my single. And now I'm going to grab and drag down. Now, it doesn't matter how long your bonds are. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I've got my bonds in. Now I want to put in lone pairs of electrons. Those are what those little dots are. So you see when my cursor goes over it, the atom highlights blue. If I click it, it'll automatically put in lone pairs. Same thing for this oxygen, but this one needs 3 pair. That's 1, 2, 3. And it doesn't matter where they are. It's fine. As long as it's there. Now we need to add a charge. So the oxygen at the bottom is going to have a negative charge. And there we go. And then what we have to do last is to add a sodium. So I'm going to put a sodium right there, and I want to give that sodium a positive charge. And that's it. And then you click submit, and it grades it, and it tells you, oh, we did good. Awesome. So it gets a little more complicated. So when you're doing this next one, it actually gives you suggestions, right? It says begin by adding the rings. Read the hints. The hints really, really help. Then use the chain button to add a chain with 6 atoms. Okay, so let's do that. So these are our rings. So we want see how this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 membered ring. Here's another 5 membered ring. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to drop it in right there. And then I have another 6-membered ring that's kind of underneath. So I still want to be highlighted on that. And I'm going to put another one that's going to share a bond right there. Okay, now let me fix this up, and then we'll go ahead and draw the chain. So there are some things, if you scroll in and out, it'll make it bigger and smaller. So there are a few things that we want to do. We want to change some of these atoms to nitrogen. So I'm going to put a nitrogen, and it automatically puts hydrogens to fill the outer valence shell. So you don't have to worry about that quite yet. So then we have to put a sulfur down here. So I'm going to put a sulfur down there. Now I need up here an oxygen with a double bond. So here's my double bond, and I want that to turn into oxygen. So I'm going to drag up. Oops, I must have changed it. There we go. Double bonded to an oxygen. Now I want to use the chain. So it tells me up here, use the chain button to add a chain with 6 atoms. So here's the beginning of my chain. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do, see how it goes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's my 6. I kind of zoom out a little bit. Oops. If you click and you make a mistake, say I just clicked, you just go undo. Okay, so, but we got to make some changes to this. And it looks like, did I do that right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more. 6. Okay. Zoom out a little bit. See how mine, I don't know why I did that, but mine goes up first. Theirs goes down first. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down, as long as you have the correct number of atoms out there. Okay, so I want to change the N to an oxygen, and it automatically puts me a hydrogen. Now, coming off of this previous atom right here, I want it double bonded to an oxygen. So I'm going to select a double bond, and I'm going to go up here, but I don't want carbon, I want oxygen. So I've got that. Okay, and I think that looks it. That's it. So we submit that one and it's correct. So even if you don't go up the same way they go up, you go down, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be graded as correct. Okay, this next one, see how it says review the videos? If you review the videos, they're really going to help you. Okay, so the first thing is just to draw it and then to add in all the weird stuff that they have, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in my chain. So I'm going to start with a chain, right? Okay, so I have my CH3 here. I want to add a chlorine right here. There's my chlorine. I want to add a hydrogen. There's my hydrogen. Then nothing on that one. The next one gets a carbon, right? That's a CH3. Then we go down. Ooh, I have too many. How did I do that? Hold on, I'll show y'all. But I want that to be a double bond right here. Okay. And then I want this one to be an oxygen, but I need to get rid of this guy. Don't remember how to get rid of one that I've already done. Oh, erase, that's right. So erase and erase. Okay, I knew there was a way to do it. Now, we got to do some weird stuff, right? So here's an oxygen. I'll take it off of erase. So here's an oxygen, but what I want there is not an oxygen and hydrogen, it's just an oxygen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my negatives and positives, and I want to make it negative, and so I'm going to give it that negative charge, okay? The next thing is this radical, is this little dot right here. So what you do is you put your cursor here, and you see how I have that blue circle, right click on it, atom properties, and I go to radical, monovalent, and click OK. Now, it might not put the dot in exactly the same space, but it's still adjacent to the atom that is right there. Okay, now the chlorine and the hydrogen have these different things to indicate that they're coming out of the screen at you or they're going back behind the screen. And so we call them wedges and dashes. And so if you look at the bond types, we can pick that. And so we can just say, okay, this one we want to be dashed, and this one right here, we want to be a wedge. And that's it. And we click submit. Looks good. Okay, the next one, we have to actually map the molecules, map the atoms in the molecules. So see how as I run my cursor, it's going to highlight different atoms in this structure. And sometimes in the homework, they're going to ask you, okay, you know, like, where is this particular atom? And so you have to be able to label it. So what we want to do is just for these bromines, put a number on it so that we know what it is. So you again, right click on your atom and you go atom properties. And see where it says map? If I'm trying to click and I can't click, do you see this little locked thing? Click it, it unlocks, type a 1, click OK. And we're going to do the same thing, right click, atom properties, unlock it, put a 1, click OK. Right click, atom properties, unlock it, put a 1, OK. And I believe that's all we have to do on that one. Okay, that's it. All right, so I hope that helps.